Hello. During this time of the self isolation because of the COVID 19 pandemic, most of us have been cleaning our places up. I've been doing the same. Just so happens that I came across a story I wrote back in the early 80s for my brother for his birthday. So I'd like to take this opportunity to read it to you. It is the story of the Connaghans, or how we got our name. Long ago, back in the days before men had surnames, there lived a young man named Timothy. Now, Timothy had a gift of speech that was unmarveled throughout Ireland. One story has it that as a little boy, Timothy bumped his head on the Blarney Stone, and the lump on his head is what gave him his gift of gab. It was said that Timothy once took a lame horse that could barely walk and put it in a cart. He then sold the horse to a rich old man, who was told the horse was so special that it was always taken from place to place in the cart. Timothy told the man that he had fallen on hard times, and he had already sold the gold cart that the horse used to be carried in. He was now on his way to sell the horse to a prominent farmer in the next town for breeding. He asked the man if he was willing to buy the horse from him so that he could buy some food for his family. In the end, Timothy walked home with 30 pieces of gold, and the rich old man thought he had gotten an excellent bargain and proceeded to the next town to look for the prominent farmer. Well, one day, while Timothy was walking through the forest, he heard a strange sound. So, hiding behind a tree, he spotted none other than Brian, king of the leprechauns, walking towards him and carrying a big sack that jingled as he walked. Thinking quickly, Timothy lay down on the path and rubbed dirt all over his body. As Brian came towards him, Timothy began to moan and cry, "Ah, my poor family, what will I do now?" Brian, being a curious little man, cautiously approached the man on the ground and said, "What be the problem with you, young man?" Timothy sat up and wiped the fake tears from his face. "My poor family, I've lost everything we own. I was on the way to our landlord's mansion to pay off all our debts when a gang of robbers jumped me and stole all the money we had saved to pay off our mortgage. I've lost it all. Now we'll lose our land and everything else we own. Oh, woe is me." Brian was so saddened by Timothy's story that he gave Timothy the bag he was carrying. "Here," he said, "this bag is full of gold coins. It should be enough to pay off all of your debts and help you live comfortably for a while." Timothy hid his glee, saying, "Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh, my mother and father will be so happy. Thank you. Thank you." "You're welcome, but you must be quickly leaving before those robbers come back to make sure you're dead, as to not let you report them to the sheriff." So Timothy quickly ran off through the forest, thinking of how easy it was to trick that foolish leprechaun. Well, a few days later, Brian found out that he had been tricked. In a rage, he went looking for this clever trickster. Well, by the time Brian found Timothy, he had cooled down quite a bit. Timothy was about to run for fear that he may be turned into a mouse or something worse, when Brian called out to him, "Have no fear, my young man. I mean you no harm. I've come to congratulate you on your performance. Never in my life has any man told me such a story as to make me feel so sad for him, as to give away my gold like that. You must truly have the gift of the Blarney to be able to do such a feat. For that, you deserve a title that all men will come to know. From now until eternity, you will be known as Timothy Connaman, for you can truly con any man out of anything you want." And so, thus began the name that would be linked with the true trickster, the con man. Songs would be sung and lands would be named after it. As happened with many a name, through mispronunciations and misspellings, the name has gone through many changes. The closest to the original name, Connaghans, however, is the name Connaghan, which was brought from the direct translation of the Gaelic language. One last point about Connaghans is that every son named Timothy, from that first Timothy, to every son of every Connaghan after that, has the gift of Blarney, and could con any man out of anything he wanted, if he really wanted to. And I have a little note here. Note, this story was typed in English because the typewriter can't type in Gaelic. Well, that's my little story I did for my brother, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. All right, you have a nice day. Take care. Be safe.